It's Do Time with Pastor Steph.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rise and shine. You're on with this Do Time with Pastor Steph. How are you this morning? That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. For this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So, where were you all week? We started off the week shaking the Monday morning blues with the Do Time crew on our relationship day. And we talked about the things the experts say that wives should never say to their husbands. And one of the things is, you're too old for that. Well, I don't know. If you out here trying to do something that you ain't got no business doing, and I'm supposed to be your wife, and I'm only supposed to be telling you the truth, I think I should gently be able to tell you, gently, that you know what? You want to play soccer and your knees are bad? I think you're a little too old for that. I think let's fall back. Let's just let some dreams be deferred. It's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I love your dad bod. There's another one that they say you should never, as a wife, tell your husband. Well, I think if it's an encouraging thing, because people, as they get older, they get down and, depressed and a little, sad about their body. And if he can be encouraged by you saying, I love your dad bod, just make sure you say it in a certain way to let him know that he's kind of sexy to you. I think he'll appreciate that. Oh no, you're going bald. Unfortunately, there's no way of saying that pretty nicely. So maybe we just will leave that one alone. I mean, do you really need another? I don't know about that. And I think that again, if we're in love, if we're married, and we should be looking out for one another, I think you should be able to say these things gently. Call me crazy, but I don't think it should be a huge deal about asking, do you really need another? As long as it's not criticizing. Okay? And boy, oh boy, this is one where we were almost ready to part ways. I always have to do everything around here. It is what it is. And if he gets to the point where he's just not pulling his weight, then he may have to be reminded that because he's not doing anything, that you're doing everything. Now, if this is something where he's normally accustomed to doing things and you see that there's a shift, then you need to start paying more attention, ladies. Yes, to find out, is he going through something emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually? Because that could tear you apart in and of itself, and you just stop doing all the things that you normally would do. So, certain things are just subjective, and I think that, we should be able to talk. They always talk about communicating. Well, business communication at its finest. So, let's move on to Wow Wednesday and some of the things that we got from Vivian and her socially conscious segment. Well, one of the things I want to talk about is that NYPD school safety agent program that they are now implementing, where if you are 21 and under, they've got some special program that they are training you to be a school safety agent. And we've got our reservations about that, because at 21, you just came out the womb. I'm sorry. When it comes to manning a high school. Yeah, you just were born. You just got out of that. How in the world you gonna really be that effective? I think they need to still keep that age difference because it does bring on a different level of respect and understanding, and you're not quite, that close to them. I'm not saying that nobody would be able to do the job, but the average, I think it's a little challenging. Well, Therapeutic Thursday rolled around, and we had a pretty good conversation yesterday about what other people do and how it affects your mental stability. Yeah, we don't think much of how other people's behavior can determine what happens with us. And I think we need to give that a serious thought, because if we're not responding properly according to the way God would like us to respond, I think we need to go before the Lord. So, if you have that that scenario going on, or if you don't think you have that scenario going on, I think you need to go before the Lord and find out if you have that scenario actually going on. I think that's really important. I think we need to know who we are. I think we need to know what affects us. And I think sometimes we're moving at the speed of light, so we don't realize, because we're reactionary. We don't realize because we are not proactive a lot of times. We end up stepping on a whole lot of landmines, and we may not realize how what other people do affects us. So I'm just saying, you got a whole lot to go back and listen to. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day this week. It was really, really hitting on something. And I got to tell you, everybody, that Tuesday, that second day, you may want to check out. You really want to check that day out, because God had a word for everybody. All right? And that's how we spent our week. Well, today is Freestyle Friday, y'all. We made it by the grace of God. We are here. The end of the week is here. We are in for a long, extended weekend because it's the holiday. Labor Day is here. It's back to school. It's vacation time is now slowing down, and we about to wrap up this year, God spares. It's coming quickly. So let's get this party started. Go ahead and get that healthy breakfast. Go ahead and tell somebody, anybody, that it's due time with Pastor Steph is on. And whatever you do, don't go anywhere, because we will be right back. good morning, and good morning again. Welcome back to It's Due Time with Pastor Steph, and it is Freestyle Friday. Yeah, we get to do whatever we want to do, but we don't do much else than talk to the men. Yeah, and we do our celebrity day today, so it's a little different. Well, it's check-in time, the last day for the weekend, and who's in the house? All right, we're not loaded this morning. I guess everybody's still asleep, but we got Ketty in the house. Good morning, Ketty. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Terrence. Hey, Terrence, how are you? Please tell Mom I said good morning. And I miss seeing her on here. We got check-in from Kiwi. Good morning. Now, I got to tell you, my shirt doesn't fit like hers and Shantice's. Wait, how do we? Yeah, there we go. Because they wear their shirts snug, but I don't. I don't like my shirts all that snug because I got a belly and they don't. Well, this is dope, and this is Kiwi's baby. Yeah, this is her brand, and delivering only positive energy, and I like that. Nice. So shout out to her. If anybody knows anything about Pastor Steph on this broadcast and any other broadcast I do, I don't put on anybody else's stuff, but this is Nisi's, so I'm gonna shout her out this morning. Shantice was able to convert it into embroidery, so I can hang out with her today. So I'm hoping that we've done your shirt some justice. Like I said, it doesn't look as nice on me as it does on her and Shantice, but you get the point. I'm delivering only positive energy, so give me a shout out, okay? Hey, we got to check it from Miss Grace. Good morning, Miss Grace. Glad to see you able to say good morning this morning. And Shantice says, shirt looks amazing on you. Thank you kindly. I appreciate that. I actually like the two-tone too. I actually like this two-tone. Yeah, it's kind of cute. A little different. All right. So listen, again, if you see anything that I am ever wearing on here, make sure you give me a shout out so we can get you, I can connect you to the individual that's going to get this done for you, including this one. And that's the only other brand I'm promoting other than it's personalized directly. We'll do the dope thing. Okay. All right. So we can't go any further without saying good morning to the ladies that help to hold it down each and every day. And that is Shantice. Hey, Shantice. And our girl, Anika. Good morning, Anika. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Did you check out last night's episode of My Two Cents, our movie and TV review? Man, it was funny. It was good. We reviewed Bosco, the Peacock streaming movie. And we reviewed School Days. And it was interesting. It was very interesting. We really, I'm going to tell you something. When you have watched the movies that we are reviewing, it just brings so much more to the table. And as I was reading, comments from like Vivian and Teresa, and Koya, Renee, it made a difference because it extended what Ainsley, Shantice, and myself were able to talk about. So I really enjoyed it. So make sure when we tell you what movies, or when I tell you what movies we're reviewing, you check it out. I mean, listen, we're determining whether we should kick it or click it or kick it. So voice, give your voice, okay? It's not many times people are going to really ask for your opinion. We're asking for your opinion. So make sure you kind of throw your 2 cents in there, okay? All righty. Well, it's Celebrity Day, y'all. And we are talking about the celebs. And you know, we always start off with some level of trivia. So I'm going to again expect for you to be up in this chat room as we talk about, there's a list of hilarious Black sitcoms you forgot existed. Now, I did not look at one. Normally, I kind of take a peek, you know, at the first one. No, I just stayed away. I stayed away from this list. Oh, Anika says, I gotta get a dope shirt. I love the two-tone shirts also. Ah, there you go, Kiwi. You got a sale, girl. All right, so we're gonna do the dope thing today. Okay. All righty. Excuse me. Let's get back to our sitcoms. Now, if there's a sitcom in there that you remember that you thought was hilarious, let's see if, put it in the chat room, and let's see if it shows up on this list, because I don't know who designs this list, but so, excuse me, you know, we'll find out. We'll find out. All right. First one, Rock. Okay, Rock was funny, but not hilarious. You remember Rock? It was about, what's his name? Charles Dutton was Rock, and Ella, not Ella. That wasn't her name. That's her real name. I forgot his wife's name. Joey was the brother. The old man. Yeah, she was a nurse, and the father and the brother lived with them as well. And you know, I think, was it a Fox show? But it talked about quite a bit of, let's say, social, economic, socially economic issues such as homelessness, drug abuse, gang violence. That's where Clifton Powell pretty much made his debut. Yeah, when Rock shot him because he was a drug dealer. Yeah. Bless you too, Terrence. Thank you kindly. All right, so I don't know. Y'all give me a thumbs up if y'all thought that Rock was hilarious, because that's the way they termed this. And I think it was, I don't remember laughing much at Rock being the garbage man and collecting all the garbage and things like that off the street, you know, on his route. But it was okay. It was okay, but not hilarious. All of Us. Now wait, Rock went from 1991 to 1994. Next, they have All of Us, and that was from 2003 to 2007. Now, All of Us starred Lisa Ray and what's his name? Dwayne Martin. Was it Dwayne Martin? Yep, Dwayne Martin. And the little boy was Kamani Griffin. Boy, I would love to see him now. And what's his name? Rock's brother, Chris Rock's brother, Tony Rock, was in it as well. Lisa Ray McCoy was in it. And remember, this was supposed to be the true life of Will and Jada. And they were actually the producers of this sitcom, I remember. So, you know, it was about the couple, and they had the ex-wife, you know, involved, and, you know, so forth and so on. But I wouldn't say this, another one I wouldn't say was hilarious. I just wouldn't. All righty, what's next? Smart Guy. Smart Guy. Yeah, I remember Smart Guy. Now, it starred Tia and Tamara Mowry's brother Taj. Remember little Taj? He was so cute. And he still is a little cutie pie, by the way. Oh, wait, Kenny gave a thumbs down. All righty. Now, was that to Rock? Gotta blow up my screen, so I'm all messed up here. Let's see. Yeah, she said thumbs down on the Rock thing. Okay. Well, again, Smart Guy ran from 97 to 99. Now, Smart Guy starred Essence Atkins and Omar. what's his name? Gooding. We talked about him like last week. Yes, Omar Gooding. And I can't remember the father's name, but you've seen him quite a bit. And John Marshall Jones is his name. Yeah. Oh, also Jason Weaver. Yes. If you watch The Chi, he plays Rashad. And he played in the Michael Jackson, the first Michael Jackson All-American movie that they made for TV. And he was good. And actually, he's got, he was a little boy when he did Michael Jackson, because he played young Michael Jackson, the little boy Michael Jackson. He really sings, and his acting is still kind of up there. He's not boring you. He's kind of grown up on TV. So yeah, that was smart guy. And they were on the WB. Remember that? Wow. Okay. What else? Now I know this one ain't got no business on this list. Malcolm and Eddie, 96 to 2000. Now, Kitty says yes. Smart guy. She would give a thumbs up to. Malcolm and Eddie from 96 to 2000. I'm sorry. I think I watched part of one episode. I ain't never watched it again. That was Malcolm Jamal Warner, Eddie Griffin, Kalina White. And she was the one who later played in A Different World. She played in she did a little spot on the Cosby Show, and she was the one from Lean on Me. Yes, Mr. Clark. Yeah, that was her. So she's kind of been out there. She also does the voiceover on that Kyla Pratt thing, the Proud Family. She's in that. Yeah, she has a little spot on that one. She's a pretty good actor. I like her. She's that whiny voice, but I'm sorry, Malcolm and Eddie didn't hit on a thing. And no from Shantice and no from Kitty on the Malcolm and Eddie thing. And I have to agree with you. All righty. Now, they say that was actually created by the Full House creator, Jeff Franklin. Well, he needed to go back to the drawing board in that one, because that one was straight whack. All right. The Hughleys. 1998 to 2000. Now, the Hughleys starred Daryl. What's his name? Not Daryl. He played Daryl. Oh, goodness gracious. D.L. Hughley. His name is Daryl, I believe. D.L. Hughley, Elise Neal, the two kids. Let me see if I can find their names in here. John Henton from Living Single, the one who played the handyman, Overton. They're on there. And the two kids. Now, I just recently finally got around to reading about the one who played the son. I think he played Michael. And he's got all these tattoos on his face now. He's been in so much trouble. Oh my goodness. Well, they say that it was supposed to, kind of mimic, the Jeffersons. I don't see it. But yeah, it was, and it was written by D.L. Hughley. It was okay. I found it interesting, but not funny. So again, these are coming under the classification of hilarious, and I think they're missing the mark on this stuff, because I don't think. Okay, I never even heard of Black Dynamite. 2012 to 2015. Oh my goodness. The voiceover is done by Michael Jai White. Didn't we just talk about him a couple weeks ago? Okay, we're going past this because I don't even know where they're saying Black Dynamite is on HBO Max and Sling. No. Okay. The Parenthood. Shanti should love this one. From 1995 to 1999. The Parenthood is what's his name? Robert Townsend baby. Yes. and it starred Robert Townsend, Suzanne Douglas, who's no longer with us, like what's his name, Michael Jamal Warner, and you've got who else? Reagan Gomez Preston, who has made a comeback on TV. Yeah, she was gone for a while. And now all of a sudden you kind of seeing her pop up. I've seen her on Queen Sugar. She was just on The Shy. I saw her on a couple of other shows. So now she's kind of back. And she still looks good, y'all. She looks really good. Gained a little weight, but she still looks good. Who disappeared? The one who played the son. Was it Michael? Yeah. Well, Faison Love was also in the very early Parenthood, and he kind of remained a friend of Robert Townsend's character. Faison Love is the one who played the guy in what do you call that thing? Oh my goodness, Friday, with the curlers in his hair, and he's been on quite a bit of things. Heavy set black guy, yeah. So he's kind of funny. I don't know if I consider that to be hilarious, but one of the things I did like about this Parenthood, they pushed a lot of actors. If you go back, you'll see Layla Rashawn, you'll see Gabrielle Union, you'll see Debrat, you'll see quite a few different actors who came through there. So that was really interesting. All right, Damon. Now, he was only on for 1998, so I guess that's why we forgot him. Must be Damon Wayans, because I don't remember this. Yep, Damon Wayans, David Alan Grier. We all know David Alan Grier. And I'm not surprised that he pulled in David Alan Grier. Why? Because if you go back to In Living Color days, you've got Men on Films. Men on Films. And that was the two of them. That was the duo. David Alan Grier and Damon Wayans. So I'm not surprised. Melissa D'Souza was also a part of this. And you know her. She played on The Best Man as the one who was real, what's her name? Prissy. Yeah. She was with the guy with the dreads. Yeah, until he got rid of her. Oh, Terrence says Black Dynamite was the joint. Okay, Terrence. All right, I'll take your word for it. I ain't going to find out, but I'll take your word for it. All right. We've got Hey Moni. That wasn't about Moni Love, was it? Yeah. Yeah. It was about Moni Love. It was supposed to be an animated sitcom that BET aired, and it was about some corporate roommates. Oh, goodness gracious. Never even heard of it. Never even heard of it. So that's one of the reasons why I guess we forgot about it. That's My Mama. Now, for those of you who are new school, you may not know what I'm talking about. But That's My Mama, 1974 through 75. It was okay. That's My Mama. But again, not hilarious. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about, for the next 5 minutes, we're going to talk about sitcoms that was hilarious. Martin. How did Martin? Well, they said that we forgot. Okay, so that's what let's talk about the ones that were just straight hilarious, whether they're old, and we forgot about them or not. I say Martin needs to hit this list if we're talking about something that is hilarious. I don't think we've had many hilarious sitcoms, but sitcoms that we really enjoyed. I'm throwing out Martin. I'm throwing out What's Happening. Yes. Good Times, I'm not throwing out as hilarious. It was situational and it just kept your interest, but not hilarious. So those are the two I'm throwing out. Go ahead and throw out, others while we talk about some celebrity news. What is somebody, Kenny's saying, hold on, I gotta pull up I'll get a close up. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes, now that was funny. That was a funny one. Good one, Kenny. Good one. And now Terrence is saying, I guess he's going back to Black Dynamite. Michael Jai White, Arsenio Hall, and Brian McKnight. They all have voiceovers in this show. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. That's where I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna let you do the rest. Martin and what's in it? Kenny said, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Alrighty. Hey, brother Ainsley, I see you laid up, in the cut. We're talking about hilarious comedy shows. So when I come to you, you need to have one in mind, okay? All right. What are we talking about in our celebrity news today? Oh, let's see. All right. Lil Nas X is a mess. He's a mess. And, okay, I won't ask that question because people might get the wrong impression. But they say that he is being charged on felony for assaulting a police officer. Now, this is a really short story, despite the fact that they have a whole bunch of junk in this article. And what supposedly happened was he claims, and I'm going to start from the back of the story, the way they wrote it going forward. So what they claim is that not long ago he talked about the fact that he was having some issues emotionally and mentally, and how he wanted to get himself together, blah, blah, blah. Well, not that long ago, somebody spotted him, 26 years old, walking out nude in the middle of the street. And they called the cops on him. And supposedly, somehow or another, during the time when, they claimed that he was walking around like this, he assaulted this cop. So now they have this felony charge against him. He's going back and forth to court, and we'll see what happens. I mean, one hell of a way to start. You already got some issue going on with your mental stability. Also, they say that he overdosed. Now, I don't know when this overdose was supposed to have taken place, but with all the drug use, the overdose, he says he's got some mental illness going on or some mental strain going on. So this is where he ended up. All right. Keep putting those movies up in there. If you say that if you think this sitcom was hilarious, put it out there. All right. What else are we talking about today? All righty. All right. So when we did our PSA, we did a PSA on Chadwick Boseman, and it kind of highlighted his life going backwards. Yesterday, I believe, or right here recently, the 28th was his birthday. It would have been his birthday. And they talked about the fact that, he has passed away from, I think it's 5 years now. It's been a quick 5 years. Oh my goodness. 5 years ago, he was 43 years old. And, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. And that was in 2016. So he kept this thing a secret for quite some time. He was able to accomplish quite a few movies from the time that he was diagnosed until the time he passed away. And they said that he endured multiple surgeries and lots of chemo during that time. So he was actually very weak, but in Chadwick Boseman fashion, he pulled it off. You would never know that he was ill, during that time. So my thing just went blank. So I'm going to try to remember as much as I can. And they are now doing a documentary. They just they announced that they're doing a documentary on his life to honor his legacy. And they don't say exactly when it's coming out, but they do have that he went to the College of Fine Arts, and they have now renamed the college since his passing, Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts. So that's a nice shout out to him. And I'm looking forward to it. I actually would watch it. I would actually watch it. They announced it on Good Morning America that they're going to be doing a documentary, and it will detail all of his accomplishments. So I think that's nice. Would you go watch it? Would you go watch the documentary on his life? All righty. We have Cardi B in the news again, and they say that she's now being sued by some chick who used to, and I say it like that, who worked in the, what do you call it? The clinic, the doctor's office. She was about 4 months pregnant. She was going to the doctor's office. There was a security guard at the doctor's office, and they say that Cardi B spotted this security guard with her phone out, videotaping her. She was recording her, and she got up in the woman's face. They shared some, very intense words they both agree on. But here's what they actually disagree on. Though the security guard is suing because she said Cardi B slashed her in the face with her sharp nail. Cardi B says it never got physical, and she's lying. Now here's my thing, and y'all should know me by now. I'm just the type of person, I guess maybe it's my age, stay out of people's face. How do people agitate you and then get angry at the response? How do we get here? So what am I saying? Now, I'm not saying she should have. If she should have sliced in the face, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you actually are going to the OBGYN doctor. You're going to an obstetrician. And you can't even do that in private. You got somebody with a camera recording you, and she didn't like it. And you have to respect people's privacy. Now here's the thing. If Cardi B goes to this obstetrician, there are probably other stars who go to this obstetrician. So this woman was probably accustomed to pulling out her phone and recording, and that's what they both, neither one, that's where the story is in common. So she didn't say she didn't pull out the recording device, but she did, and Cardi B got up in her face because she didn't want the recording device on her. I have every right. Now I ain't gonna say I'm stepping to you, but listen, again, you got a camera on this woman in her private time. I can't go to the doctor without you got a camera up in me. I would have got up in your face too. And maybe what happened was, when she approached the woman or said something to her, about her being a security guard, Cardi B says, I didn't attack her. She's much bigger than me. Now, I don't know. I don't know whether you did. I don't know whether you didn't. You're always in the news for something. And unfortunately, that's why people can put this claim on you. But stop, people, stop. You so starstruck that you pull it out. And you know what? If she wasn't fired, she should have been fired. She should have been fired. You overstepped your boundaries. Now, where was I the other day? and I heard a Cardi B song. Oh, I was eating in one of the little restaurants, and they had the radio playing. Whack! Oh my goodness! How did she sell anything? How did people stream her? I don't know. Maybe this was one of her bad songs, but whack! Oh my goodness. Now, listen, I come from when it all got started. We used to go to the jams in the park before there was anything on wax. I was there. And as I've gotten older, I could rock my head to some, good rap songs. And it's like when you listen to what they're saying, you're like, well, oh, okay. If it's either the beat or the lyrics or the cadence, one of the three, right? No, oh my goodness. The lyrics was whack. Her voice was whack. How? I don't know. Maybe y'all don't feel the same way. That was just too much for me. She was just straight whack. I'm sorry. I just thought I'd throw that in. All right. We got one other story, and I think I want. Oh, okay, yeah. This one is a quick one. So we've got Effie from Power and Power Book 2 Ghost. I know that was somebody when we did the review. Shantice was like, I hope Effie gets killed. Yeah, well, she was arrested recently. Now, the details of her arrest are really vague. However, they are saying what's bringing attention to this thing, even though no one's actually gotten out there and pushed or put out why she was arrested. They said that she's been charged with cruelty to children. Now, where she lives, and I believe it's in California, Georgia, they say, despite the fact that it's not clear as to what has actually happened, they say in Georgia, under Georgia law, she's been charged with cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. And that is really broad, but very serious. So that can include a minor who witnesses some level of violence, disorderly behavior in front of a minor, or just direct harm to a minor. So they're like, well, we don't know what you did in particular, but if this was the charge, you did something. So here's the thing. It ain't going to stay a secret for long. Whether you really want to pick and find out or whether you want to leave it alone and it just kind of stumbles in your lap like this did, so that's, as much as we got, but it's pretty serious, they say, because if she were in another state, that may not mean much, but in this particular state, it's kind of meaning much. Where is my Due Time crew? Where's my brother Ainsley? I got a question that I want to ask him. Hey, brother Ainsley.
Hey, good morning. What's up?
You look like a professional with the microphone in front of you.
Aren't we all?
You're all professional looking. Welcome this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure,
so
of
we're
course,
talking
of course.
about hilarious sitcoms that they say we forgot. And the ones we mentioned, they weren't hilarious to me. And they were definitely ones that you could forget. But I was asking, can we throw out some sitcoms that were actually hilarious? And we've got a couple in the chat room that they've thrown in. But what comes to your mind?
Okay. Well, first of all, Jimmy, I didn't hear all of the that segment, but I caught a little bit of it. Now, I know you mentioned Rock. Now, to me though,
Yes.
Rock was a really not so much hilarious, but I think was very significant because I don't know if you
Yes.
remember, because all of those actors, it was actually theater trained, and they
Yes.
even did a
Yes.
live, which you have never
Yes.
seen. They did
Yes.
a show
Yes.
live,
Right.
live,
Right.
which you
Right.
never see happen
Yes.
nowadays,
Right.
live
Right.
and whatnot.
Right.
And that's why I like to see the live stuff. Of course, the
Right.
music, because you're only as good as you can do it live.
Live.
You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying?
That's
And
right.
I think even I've heard even Denzel Washington say, no, he's a theater actor who does movies because they can chop it up how they
Okay.
want to make him look good and stuff
Right.
like that.
Right.
So
Right.
I like that live stuff. So I remember, and all of them, they
Okay.
was all excellent, excellent. So it
Yes.
wasn't
Yes. And they
hilarious,
carried it.
but it was
They
very
carried it.
significant, though.
Yes. Yes.
The one show I don't think you mentioned, which used to be my favorite, because particularly at the time when it was on, Bernie Mac.
Yes. That was
Bernie
good.
Mac.
That was a good one. That
Yeah, I
was a
remember
good
that
one.
because at the same time my girls was young. I was like, I'm experiencing some of this stuff what he going through right now too.
Nah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
Bernie Mac is my fave. It's one of my faves of all
Okay.
time.
Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. All righty. So we're talking about our celebrities before we go into our um topic this morning. And we're talking about this whole thing with Cardi B. Now, whether you put Cardi B in the seat, whether you put Snoop in the seat, whether you put Michael Jai White in the seat, doesn't matter who you put in the seat, but there's somewhere where they are private. They feel like this is private to them. So for her in particular, you've got her 4 months pregnant, going to the OB doctor, and you've got a security guard
Mm-hmm.
now taking a camera out, and she's recording her, and they get into a verbal altercation, which the security guard claims ends up being physical, where Cardi B, with one of her nails, slices her in the face, and now she's suing Cardi
Mm-hmm.
B. I want to talk about the lack of privacy that these artists and entertainers, athletes can get. And do you feel they deserve it, or how much do you feel they deserve it?
Yeah, it's it's straightforward, but not quite as straightforward, I think, as you would think. All right. First of all, I'm a little bit familiar with the story with Cardi B. Not that I'm really a
Okay.
fan of searching it out. It just comes up on my feed, so I just happen to look at it
Okay.
because it's what came up was, I guess she's on the stand. It's actually on trial right now, and
Yeah.
she's on the stand, and she's being cross-examined. And to me, how the I don't know, the prosecutor, where he's asking, it just seems kind of out of line, really.
Mm.
But it was over objections and stuff like that. So um, I'm a little bit familiar with it. So but here's the thing. And we all have a certain right to privacy, right? Particularly in the public. If you're on a public sidewalk, it's public. Anybody can do a camera, because now, I don't know if you realize it, we got people now who are really pushing the boundaries. They're walking around with cameras and recording everybody on the sidewalk, and they go up in certain businesses, going into the window and recording inside. Of course, the people inside is like, who you recording? Who recording? They come out and they confront the video, these journalists now. And but the law is, long as they're on the public sidewalk, they can really do it. If it's open to the public view, they can do it, and they can come up, but they push it because to me, they are being very at abrasive about it, and they're invading your private space too, with the camera in your face too. So of course, a lot of people who not gonna appreciate that, they're gonna retaliate. I'll be like, yo, you better step back, you know, and they'll agitate. There's one guy called Eli, and that's what he does. That's exactly what he do. There's others like that. So you're allowed to do the camera thing in public. In private, that's a totally different story. Now, particularly in a medical setting, we have something called the HIPAA laws. There's certain
Right.
things is
Right.
private. Anything in your health information, all that is private, unless you specifically say it's okay. I don't mind
Right.
releasing this information. That is private. So that
Right.
security guard, even admitting she took out her camera phone to show that, dead up wrong. Regardless of whether she's a star, rapper, whatever case may be, no matter who it is, she is dead up wrong. And then it was somebody that told you about it, and then instead of just being like acknowledging that, you're gonna amp it up. I'm like, listen, you how you gonna start something and then you get mad at the reaction that comes from it?
Right.
I'm like, come on,
And
man.
that's my point. Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing is, here's where it may get tricky sometimes. A lot of times, we all have a certain level of privacy, but when you're in the public eye, you are allowed to, since they're more in the public, their privacy level tends to, it's not quite as much because they're in the public eye, so there's more of a public
Right.
interest.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so you can take a little bit more advantage. But being in a medical setting, where Cardi B was at, no matter where she was at, if you in a hospital, a clinic, urgent care, or whatnot, nobody should be up there like this here. No.
Yeah.
You can expect to get slapped, man.
Right. And that's
no question to ask. No
right.
question to ask.
Right. And that was my thought. We understand that when you step into the limelight, anybody who spots you is like, oh, they want to pull out the camera and you don't have as much privacy. And so we're not talking about that part. We're talking about, but this woman was you're 4 months pregnant, you're going to your OBGYN, and you're securing what you're securing. So wait, here's something that's very interesting. Number one, Terrence says, Ainsley, you worked with Funk Master Flex. Oh my gosh. And Terrence brought up a very good point. He says the security guard knows that she shouldn't be on her phone during work hours. So you're already messing up.
Really?
That's what I said. Just for the fact that you even got this phone out, who are you securing? And you got a phone out, you too busy starstruck that something else could be jumping off now, because I need to know why there needs to be a security guard in the OB office. Okay, so that's a whole different story. But
that's true too.
It's like, dang, a bunch of pregnant women. What are we doing here? So, but for whatever the reason is, it's there. So, we'll
so
see.
she opens her own employer to a lawsuit. Cardi B has every right now to sue her, not just her, but whoever she worked with, and the whole medical office, and most of the time they probably use a security firm to do the security, and so they're liable now.
Right, for some that you could have prevented. You're a big grown woman. Sit down somewhere and do your job. Oh, let's talk to Pastor Jeff this morning. Good morning, Pastor Jeff.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, bro.
How are you?
How you doing, sir? All right.
All right, dude.
All right. I'm fine, thank you.
Oh yeah, and you too. You too.
Oh my goodness gracious! I feel like it's been forever since I've seen you, Pastor Jeff. But
it has.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning. We're talking about the hilarious sitcoms. Now, they gave us some hilarious sitcoms, quote unquote. We didn't think that they were very hilarious. Is there a sitcom that is on your hilarious radar?
Martin was one of the funniest.
Okay.
I thought Welcome Back Kotter when I was a kid was funny.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
Listen, that was interesting because that spawned Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, and it spawned John Travolta.
Yeah.
Yes. And it also spawned, what's her name? Vernie Washington. Is that Watson? Watson. And she's the one who played Will's mother on the first Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
She was from back with the Sweat Hogs. So yeah, that was cute. That was cute. Going back in the day, Pastor Jeff. Going back
Oh, yeah,
in the
now
day.
you mentioned, I remember, and Horse Shack was in there, right?
Yes. But those three in particular, they landed on their feet, for a long time. And you still see them acting now. So that says a lot. All right, Pastor Jeff. We're talking about this Cardi B situation, but not necessarily Cardi B. Any entertainer, we know that you lose some of your privacy, once you become popular. Even Shantice keeps telling me I got to watch the way I dress because I'm a public figure. I said, listen, I ain't out here trying to impress nobody. Leave me alone. But people are starstruck when they see you. She's in the OBGYN office. And the security guard pulls out a phone and she starts recording her. Well, they go into some bad words between the two of them. And the security guard claims that Cardi B sliced her in the face with her nail. Cardi B says that's not what happened. They just had some very intense words. Well, now Cardi B is in a civil lawsuit because the security guard is suing her for damages. What say you, Pastor Jeff? Is it that she should be left to her privacy? Did the security guard overstep her boundaries?
First of all, the celebrities, they got to realize that does come with the territory, because just the slightest bit of fame, people they worship people. I was in Walmart and a girl followed me through every aisle, because I know you from somewhere, and I'm just like, you don't know me. And then I finally, she knew me from Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
A preacher. And I was just like, okay, that's just Facebook preaching. Can you imagine Cardi B? But in that setting that she was in, that security guard should be fired. Cardi B should be able to counter sue her, because that is the most private place right there. And then you work for the hospital or whatever, the doctor's office, and you're going to do that. People don't want to be filmed there. Anybody should know that. Anybody would be enraged. You filming them and they come into the doctor. I'd have punched that security guard. You know what I'm saying?
Go on, Pastor Jeff.
Yes.
Let them know.
and again, like we say, we know people are starstruck and they willing to bust out a camera at any given moment. Cardi B came into the office today. But yet again, as both of you said, I am in full agreement that, where's the privacy? This is a real private moment, and this ain't your job to be the journalist. This is your job to secure the perimeter. So, all right. So what Terrence says, I get why they have security there because of all the celebrities that come to that establishment. And Cardi B canceled the security company because of the rule book is not to be on the phone. And that's what I was saying. I'm sure if Cardi B is going there, then other celebrities probably go there as well. So now she's having this ball with, let me tell y'all who comes through the office, So, well, like Terrence said, there probably won't be that security firm there anymore. They need security for the security.
You know what? And thing is, I think people's nature is just wrong, because I think they're wrong from their approach, just trying to be sneaky about it. How about you just politely ask? Say, listen, I know you're here, a fan, and then I can make you more comfortable. Would you mind if I take a picture of you?
Right. I don't think that would be bad either.
They might say no, but at least you have a chance of saying, listen, all right. It's all in your approach. We say, can I help you? Anything? Can I make you more comfortable? I'm here to help you with stuff like that. Do you mind if I take a quick photo or stuff like, something like that? You should have a better chance. But when you come off like I'm trying to be sneaky about you, of course, My wife says all the time, you know, you do something negative, you got to expect a negative response.
Right. And that's why I'm like, how you're supposed to be there securing. So even for her, I agree 100%. The approach is everything. And if it had been one of the medical assistants, who said it, that's one thing. But the security guard, you ain't got no business with no phone. You ain't on
But
lunch.
you got to also remember that security guard is not getting paid much, and there's an opportunity to get a lawsuit. So
I
she went
agree.
for hers. You
I
understand?
agree. I agree. I agree. Again, it's an opportunist move.
A
Opportunist move.
dumb one.
We
A
talked
dumb
about
one.
it. Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Where these silly lawsuits come from, something that you could have prevented. Oh, thanks for joining us again. What we got here? No canceled. Sorry, she can sue the security company. Absolutely. Okay, we got Brother Al in the house. Let's say good morning to Brother Al.
Chop of the morning, chop of the morning.
What's
Wow,
up, brother
it's been a
Al?
minute.
What's
What's going
up?
on,
It's
y'all?
been a minute since we've seen you 3 times in 1 week, Brother Al.
I know. Hey, listen, I'm enjoying it before school start next week.
I know. I was just going to say, so this is going to end this cycle right here. The school
Oh, yeah.
is opening up their doors next week. Yes, and yes.
Hey, look,
Welcome this morning. Thank you.
I gotta have my riot gear on because they doing the thing with no cell phone. So I got my bulletproof vest and my helmet and my shield.
Okay. Well, listen, just sue. What's the big deal? Just sue.
Huh?
Just sue.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too. So one of the
That's
kids
right,
like I'm
just
gonna
sue.
fall to the ground. Oh, I can't move my leg. I can't.
Absolutely, brother. I'll take advantage like everybody else is.
Oh yeah.
All right. So first we're talking about a hilarious sitcom. Anything come to your mind?
Oh my God, I'm taking it old school. The Honeymooners and Sanford and Son. Oh my God, I was sitting there and laughing hours.
Okay, all right. Well,
Okay.
since they're talking about black sitcoms, Sanford and Son was a good one. They were a good one. That was a good one. That thumbs up. That one gets thumbs up. All right, brother Al, you've heard the situation with Cardi B and this civil lawsuit. What say you? Should she have? Does she have a right to her privacy? And the security guard overstepped her bounds? Or listen, this is par for the course. What say you?
Yeah, she has a right to her privacy, but again, like what Pastor Jeff said, when you in this light, there is no privacy, unfortunately. So I don't understand why, and it's not Cardi B's fault. I don't think I'm blaming her. But I don't understand why she didn't have security with her. That's what you got to do. People talk that junk by Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest boxers that came out. And when he go out, he got these 4 big giant security guards. He stands in the middle. He got 2 in the front, 2 in the behind, and he walks the street. You never heard nobody really trying to sue him because he got his security there to block everybody out with the nonsense, and he walked. So they can't say, oh, he put his hands on me. No, he got security guard that are professional, that got licensed, and they keep the people away. And that's what you got to do because it can, and it definitely gets irritated. I think back to my college days and high school days when I was this basketball star. People don't care. You can be sitting eating dinner. I'd be sitting there eating dinner with a young lady, people coming up signing autographs, and and you be like, hey, do you not see me sitting here eating with? They don't care. And I'm so glad back then they didn't have a cell phone, boy. I'd be in a lot of trouble. a lot of trouble, a lot of pictures. But these people, they gotta get this, they gotta get the security.
Stop the press. Stop the press. Stop the press. Stop the press. No idea. I know you said you were a basketball star, brother Al, but I had no idea that you couldn't even eat in public. It was that.
Yo, I'm telling you, it was, and that was in this little town, the little town called Salisbury, a small town. I was on a small scale of, when you doing things good or you in that limelight, people coming, and it's sad. and you won't get no privacy. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. But she should have had security with her. Hey, listen, you this big star. You're in the public eye. Have your security, your own security with you to block people out like that. And as far as the security guard, she dead wrong. You know, and again, like you said, she probably took that job. Hey, I'm here at this place. Let me get these videos. Let me get these pictures so I can put it on social media and get 1 billion likes. You know, because that's what it's all about now. Them getting all these likes.
Clickbait. Yep.
And you don't even say to yourself, hey, you know, this woman is pregnant and she's trying to get her, go and get checked out, and just let that be. You know, but I hope this is a thing for her to get her security. Have security with you, Cardi.
Well, I would hate to know I gotta have security to go to open my legs.
Yeah, I understand, but yeah,
we all grown here.
Yeah,
going to check me and my baby out, make sure everything is going all right, and I gotta have security. Lord have mercy, what does the world come to? Then you need to go into full obscurity, because this, I get what you're saying. You know, if I'm walking in just the general public, but good Lord, I should be able to at least go to the doctor. We ain't even talk about the supermarket, the doctor. So, all right. Thank you for joining us, Brother Al.
Oh yeah,
and thank you for enlightening us as to who you really are. You know, I really underestimated your history, Brother Al.
You say you better recognize.
Pastor Jeff. Okay, Pastor Jeff, Brother Ainsley. Yo, we on with the best. Yo, I can go see Al.
Right. Better recognize it. Hey, Pastor, don't worry. I'll come by. I'll come by later on and sign an autograph for you. You know what I'm saying?
I was just getting ready to say, when we have that movie night for Trouble Man, I need a selfie with you, and I need the billboard with your signature on it. Other than that,
there you go.
Can't come over.
I got it.
Like, yeah, come over, now. All right, thank you. And I'm gonna hold you to that. Where's Pastor KL? Hey, Pastor KL, good morning.
What up, bro?
Good morning. How are you?
All right.
How's everyone doing?
Oh, how are you feeling? You
good,
looking mighty relaxed.
Yeah, I'm just, as the young folks say, I'm just chilling in the cut.
Okay. Pastor KL, we're talking about the hilarious sitcoms. Do you have one for us?
Well, you said they had to be black, right?
Yes, because that was the list. The list was the hilarious sitcoms that we forgot about, and I didn't see one hilarious sitcom on the list, so that's why we didn't forgot about them.
Well, I like the Hughleys. Because I like
okay, well, they were on the list. Okay, well, they were on the list. So you're co-signing. That's the first one that has been repeated from the list. Okay, all righty. Well, the Hughleys it is for Pastor KL. Terrence says the doctor is mad because he lost a client because the security guard messed up and got fired. She probably is not changing doctors, Terrence, more than she's demanding that they change security firms. Yeah, she ain't gonna change no doctor. You don't be messing around like that with no baby in your belly. All right, Pastor KL, what say you about this expectation of privacy while understanding you're in the public eye? Should a doctor's office be excluded from camera presence?
Well, okay, so I'm mixed with what the fellas are saying. I think because of the HIPAA law, it should be. But going to what Pastor Jeff said is, you signed up for the Pavarotti. That's what you signed up for. When you wanted to be famous, you signed up for the Pavarotti. Now, Brother Al, the basketball star, he tells this story. Down here in the South, I don't know if they do it up there in New York. I've never experienced it. But some of the older saints, when somebody's singing real well, they fly from the pews and come and grab the singer. I've had that. I'm in the pulpit singing, and this old lady just come and grab me because she caught the feeling of the Holy Ghost or whatever. I've never seen that in my life. They try to take you down. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. I stopped singing in the South. I don't sing no more. I just stand because it's kind of ridiculous. But I think for her, you know, she signed up for it. And you got to look at it from the side. I think from the security guard, y'all talking about putting it on Facebook. She can sell that picture to the news, to whatever, and get money. It's a come up for her.
So because it's a come up, I ain't got to understand it though. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think she should have did it. I think she was terribly wrong. She was terribly wrong to even want to take a picture with her. But I'm telling you why she did it.
We know why she did it. We know we know she got because somebody, I think it was Al who said it, Jeff said it, Pastor Jeff said it, Ainsley said it. We know why she did it. But unfortunately, there should be some level. Ain't nowhere in the world I can imagine you singing and somebody young or old coming up there and grabbing you. This is just out of control. You can't be all this starstruck.
That's why I got armor bearers now. I don't go nowhere. I'm sorry.
I think I need to stay with this camera.
God I got armor bearers. It's real, we say it as jokes, but South, you folks crazy. They come and try to wrestle you down, all in the name of Jesus. And they be in the spirit, hallelujah. They be speaking in tongues and everything.
Well, I'm sure glad I don't sing. I'm glad I don't play basketball.
I'm gonna send you the video because somebody recorded it. I'm gonna send you the video. It looks hilarious. It looks like a cartoon.
I bet it does.
And I'm still singing. I'm still singing through this whole thing. I'm still singing.
All right. Well, listen. Can we post the video?
Post it where?
Here. Can we play?
I ain't calling you. What?
Can we play the video? If you can produce a video, can we play it?
Play it? No.
Why? Why not? You said it's expected. Listen. It's expected. You stepped up in the limelight. There's no privacy.
No,
so if the whole church got to see it, hold on. If the whole church got to see it, why the whole world of It's Due Time with Pastor Steph can't see it? I think we being cheated. You're a star. I don't think you need to be on here anymore because
I'm a crash dummy. I'm a crash dummy. I ain't no star.
Well, if you're on videotape and you can produce the videotape, I think you are star quality and we should be able to air it. And until you say so, this is your last episode. Just know it. Okay. All right. So now speaking of entitlement, there's a real interesting other lawsuit that's going on. So Paisley Park, who's in charge of what's his name, Prince, of his estate, they are now holding on to the name Apollonia. So supposedly what has happened is Apollonia, we know, starred in the movie Purple Rain. When the name was not, she had not been known as Apollonia prior to Purple Rain. So that was her role in Purple Rain. And she continued rocking that name after Purple Rain. So from Purple Rain in 1984 on, she's been known as Apollonia, not as Patricia Cotero. So she's acted under that name. She's produced songs under that name. She's sang under those names. She's performed under those names. Who's rattling? If that better not be Ainsley.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. My bad.
What? I know it. I know it. Ainsley, crackling is reserved for Thursday night. Friday mornings is too early for all that.
My bad, yo. My bad. And I got a mic too.
Turn your mic off.
Okay.
Do something. All right. So now, so what's happened is we know Prince has passed away, and now the estate is saying she can't use the name anymore, despite what she has done. They are putting an end to her being able to use the name because it belonged to Prince. So she must cease from using the name. Now, her argument is, ever since I got this role, he allowed me to use the name. As long as he was alive, he never said anything about me using the name. That's why I've been able to use this name all along. He loved me, not as like this girlfriend necessarily, but they did date. But she said he loved me, he cared about me, he expressed over and over and over again that he wanted me to be successful. And in being successful, that name usage pushed my success because they would be able to identify where it comes from. Should she be able to carry this name now that Prince is dead, but the estate is saying, listen, it was his. So now, no, stop now, or we're going to take you to court. See, she has them in court now over this usage. Brother Al, what we talking about here? Should she or shouldn't she be able to use this name?
Yeah, she should be able to use it. She's been using it all these years. There haven't been no issue. What's the problem? I don't see her as popular as she were back then. I don't know. Don't know too much of what she's doing now. But okay, he allowed her to use the name. It ain't. I would have to read more on it, see if they got it patent or whatever. But she should be allowed to use the name. I mean, she didn't piss somebody off. That's what it is. She done made somebody mad. That's what it is. I just thought about it. She done made somebody mad, and it's like, all right, we're gonna fix you. We're gonna take that name. I think that's what it is.
Okay,
She wouldn't sleep with somebody or something. Something going on that she didn't piss somebody off, and they say, you know what? We're gonna take that name.
Okay. Possibility, Brother Al. Pastor Jeff, should they leave her alone and let her use the name, or it belonged to Prince and we're in control of anything that is princely, and she needs to stop using the name? What say you?
If she still look like the old Apollonia, she can get whatever she want.
She actually does not look. She has aged very well, Pastor Jeff. She does not. You could tell she's older because it's 40 years now. But man, oh man, I gotta tell you, she looks good.
That's my favorite movie, and I remember my first little girlfriend looked just like Apollonia. I took her to see the movie, came out the movie, and guys wanted to beat me up for my girlfriend outside of that movie in Times Square in Manhattan. Okay? Apollonia, but
a different kind of star. He's a different kind of star.
if she's been using the name and Prince has not, stopped her, his whole lifetime, she should have the right to use it. The estate just want to get more money. That's what that's about.
Okay. All righty. Brother Ainsley, what say you?
It's kind of crazy because I see both sides. Yeah, you would think that she should be able to use it, but the reality is, if somebody has control of your name, they have to say so. I think she might have a good chance of saying, listen, what's different now than besides that Prince is gone, that now requires you to now get the withhold the name. What happens now? Because I don't know how much money is involved, but I don't think the Paisley Park, they depending on her name to make money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like Brother Al. I think she probably some maybe she pissed somebody off, somebody's upset, or what the case may be. But I would think, is for her, expose them as a bad name themselves, Paisley Park. Say, listen, y'all know, everybody know Apollonia. Why, I was supposed a person who's really behind it. What is the reason why you all of a sudden now want to make this change? Even though they can do it because they own the name, but why? What's the real reason for the change? Because she had this name, 30 years, 35, 40 years? Come on now.
40 years, over 40 years now.
Yeah. So what's different now all of a sudden? Why you need it now?
Okay. Good question. I want to read something. They put a post out saying, regrettably, Miss Patty Cotero, aka Apollonia, filed a frivolous lawsuit as she acknowledges Apollonia is the name Prince gave to the character played by Miss Cotero in Prince's movie Purple Rain over 40 years ago. We never instructed her to cease using her adopted professional name, nor did we object to her business activities. In fact, we repeatedly offered her opportunities to perform at Paisley Park using this professional name. Ms. Cotero's unwarranted lawsuit comes at the tail end of years-long disputes before the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board concerning trademark registrations, in which rulings are imminent and with respect to which we have sought a settlement numerous times despite her highly unreasonable demands. Unsurprisingly, her suit fails to acknowledge the cancellation of her Apollonia registration by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. We look forward to the rulings, blah, blah, blah. So that lends to the thought that what you two said, Brother Allen and Brother Ainsley, that she didn't piss somebody off, because all of a sudden now there's this jump into this lawsuit thing, and now they are going back and forth with them suing her and she suing them. Pastor KL, having heard that, does that shift the way you're thinking?
Yeah, she should have let well enough alone. You know what I mean? She was flowing with the name. But again, should she keep her name? Yes. Could they stop it? Yes. My question would be, what do with the name? You just gonna shelf it? You gonna give it? Is there gonna be Apollonia too? You know what I mean? What you doing with it? Why are you fighting so bad that you want it back? Just to destroy her? If that's what it is, then you won.
Right. And that was actually that was my
You
question.
can't start over with Granny. You can't come out being Granny. You don't go from Apollonia to Grapefruit. That ain't gonna work. So yeah, she should just keep her name.
But you said something kind of interesting though, because being some producers. So what I'll do, some people I work with, I would try to, depending on what it is, because it costs some money to trademark their name and whatnot, and it's not a lifetime. I think there's a term limit. I think it's like 25, 27 years or something like that. And so it could be because of that trend, that period of, okay, when it's open, then okay, what's going to happen now from that point? And then the negotiations between the both of them, they just can come to any kind of resolve. And so, and it sounded like, I guess they asked her to come perform at Paisley Park. You said no. I mean, if somebody on your name, is how much is it going to really cost you just to go there, sing a little, la 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 be, and you be done. Keep it moving and stuff like this. So I see both sides of this story.
Well, that's what the question that Pastor Kale asked is the question that I asked. I'm like, all right, so that's why I read to you this ending of this trademark issue. So now that y'all approaching this, now you want to, she didn't file for the name, so now she can't use the name anymore. Pretty much is what they're saying. She didn't file for the right, so now being that she missed the mark or she didn't do it by this amount of time, we want the name back. So the first question I asked last night when I was reading was like, okay, so what you gonna do with it? What are you gonna do with it? The person's dead. What are you gonna do with it? You can't make no money from it. So she would only make money from it by using it. Now, in regards to them asking, so you throw out the fact that, well, we asked her to perform and she said no. So that's showing that we don't have no hard feelings because we asked her to perform under the name Apollonia. First of all, I'm sorry. I disagree with you, Ainsley. I don't feel as though I owe you anything. The man who allowed me to use this name is dead. Now you are, you're gonna be petty, and now you're gonna argue with me over who has the right to use the name and who gonna shelf the name, because that's all you're gonna do is put the name up in there, and now it's gonna be in lights and can't nobody use the name. But first of all, I don't even know the terms that they even asked her to sing under. Did they ask her to dress the way she dressed 40 years ago when she sang? Because if that's not my life no more, I don't want to dress like that anymore. Are they asking her to sing necessarily those songs? Maybe those songs are not the songs that I'm singing anymore. So I don't know the terms in which they were asking her to come sing. So I owe you nothing. The man who I owe is dead.
But but sometimes there's value in the value in the name, because we're here talking about it. Look at the Jackson 5. When they left Motown, I think they went to Epic. They want to use their name, and they would say, "No, you can't use the Jackson 5." They say Jackson's our name. That's why they came from Motown. Was like, nope, that's our name.
Right.
So when you go, and it was now named the Jacksons. They couldn't use Jackson 5 because Motown owned the Jackson 5. There's value. There's value in the name, and it might not be much, but it was like, okay, they just changed the name. Now here we are for her, like 40 years later. Your name is your name. You should, and if you had an opportunity to registration, to register the name completely in your name to you, and you failed to do it, and how important it really is it to you then? You got to register your car every couple of years or stuff like that. That's important to you. Your name ain't that important.
She pissed somebody off. I'm telling you what it is. She pissed somebody off because again,
I think it's something that came up.
Because if they take,
you're right.
Because if they take the name, right, they won't allow her to use the name, and they take the name. What they gonna do? Like Pastor Steph said, what they gonna do with the name? They can't give it to another female because people gonna look at her that ain't Apollonia, so it ain't gonna work. She made somebody mad. I'm telling you, she made somebody mad.
Yeah, I think something jumped off as well. And they, like I said, they're throwing out this whole, we didn't have any hard feelings because we did ask her. And like I said, you may have offered, but I remember there were several artists such as Vanity who had changed her lifestyle, and they wanted her to perform, and she was like, I'm saved now, I can't perform those things. So like I said, you want to throw out this whole thing about, hey, I asked her to perform under the name, so that shows that we didn't have any hard feelings, and now you throwing that out like that. No, I don't even know the terms in which you are saying, oh yeah, come on and sing. That be what I want to do anymore, those type of songs. I may want to sing under the name of Apollonia. Again, I say, whether she failed to register the name or not or whatever, the man is dead. Leave it alone. If he didn't stop it while he was alive, you're not doing anything with it now. So leave it alone. Now, here's a question that just came in, which was really interesting. It says, can she, Miss Cotero, legally change her own name to Apollonia? She can. She can. You can change your name to anything. Now, there's certain criteria that you have to follow. I remember somebody, believe it or not, there was a guy who wanted to, for some reason, when he and his wife had the children, they were married. When the children came here, because she wanted to hold on to her social services benefits, she talked him in to putting the children in her maiden name. Later, when he was really ready for the children to have his name, they took them through hell. all kinds of loopholes. They had to put the names in the newspaper, everything. It was crazy. So she's going to have to go through some, hoops, but she can legally change it. They can't stop her from changing it to that name, because the name could really come from anywhere. But is she thinking about that? No, she fighting now. She in court. But here's what I wanted to tell you all. They said that Prince wanted control over all his copyrights. Now, that included the family and the time. Now, we all know where the family and the time was associated with. Well, back in 2022, Morris Day actually did the same thing. He went using the name Morris Day and he won. He won. Despite the fact that Prince gave the name, Prince copyrighted the name, because he had used the name all those years, and Prince never filed any kind of lawsuit or went against it. The judge then allowed him to be able to keep the name, so he can forever use the name Morris Day and the Time. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. That is.
So, you think about all of this, like you said, she didn't file in time and blah, blah, blah. But, what you going to do with the name, the time? What are you going to do with the time? It's going to be shelved the same way. So the judge said, hey, go ahead and use it. Prince is dead. Prince is dead. He's dead. He's dead. That's my thing. That's where I'm going. All right. And another scenario. Yeah, I'm like, the man is dead. Stop. What are you gonna do? It's control. And that's just the bad thing about this world. Everybody wants power. It's just control.
Yeah,
so true. I'm gonna take us into another. We got a few minutes. So Trump is threatening to send the troops into Chicago because he said they are out of control with the crime. Now we all know, what his particular angle is, but Chicago's been out of control for decades, and they have one of the highest levels of crime. They have the highest level of gang activity, and they have a very high prison rate. So unfortunately, this doesn't lend to their argument that they don't quite need the troops coming up in there. The other issue is that they're raising is that the crime has come down some. So the crime has come down some, but now you're ready to send the troops in there. The troops are not trained to engage with people. They're trained to go out, and fight. So we don't want them here because it'll be completely out of control. Pastor Jeff, what we talking about here?
Well, what you want to know? I mean, Trump doing what he do. He the man. He trying to take over the world. So he's bringing it to Chicago. He gonna come to New York next. I mean, what you want? You can't stop him.
So wait. So my question is: Are you saying that they should have the troops because of the situation, or because he has an angle, or because he's trying to take over, he needs to stay out? I just want to try to follow you.
No, he should stay his backside out, and let Chicago handle that, their situation, all right? But I'm saying he's not going to, and he's going to do what he do. He coming in, and he hitting big cities. He started with Washington because it was close to the White House. Chicago next. He probably going to come to New York after that. I mean, he got an agenda. He doing what he do. And what y'all going to do? You're going to stop him? Or you're going to let him go ahead and become a dictator?
Okay. Okay. Where's Brother Al? What say you, Brother Al?
He has lost his ever loving mind. I mean, that's just horrible. That's that's just horrible. Again, if Chicago needed your help, they would reach out to you. So you're going to send these troops up in there, like you said. These troops are trained to go out and kill people. They're not trained to deal with the public. When they go to war, there's no negotiating. They see you up on the other side. We killing you. So you're going to send them to Chicago, where there's a lot of crime going on. There's a lot of gang activity, and of course they're gonna be defiant. So what you gonna do? Shoot everybody dead? That's a horrible, horrible idea.
All righty. All righty. Brother Ainsley, what say you?
Um, Actually, I was went to do a dialogue with somebody yesterday on social media about this, right? And the person was like saying, well, he's talking about DC, is criticizing the Democrats and liberals, saying, look, isn't it a good thing that there has been no murders or nothing going down in DC for the past 2 weeks and stuff like that? Why are y'all not saying at least that's a good thing? you know, and other cities should be next. Why not the next? Chicago, New York, LA, or what the case may be. And my thing is this, right? You gotta look at the bottom line reasoning for this. Yeah, there's gonna be a benefit. The crime may go down, the murders may go down, but to me, the reality is this here. He, he's not doing this because he had a concern for black folks. He's not really doing this because I'm going to save the black folks in D.C. I'm going to help the black folks in Chicago or and New York, what the case may be. It's very targeted and it's for a bigger agenda. First of all, they're only hitting cities with black mayors. All right, let's keep that straight. All a lot of stuff they're going after is cities with black mayors and stuff like that. Anybody who has any opposition to them and whatnot, this whole agenda is not fairly biased and stuff like that. It's always against the black and the brown. You don't see no ICE going after any European immigrant and send them back across the Atlantic Ocean, do you? You only see them going to Mexico. It's very targeted and it's for a bigger agenda and whatnot. So yes, as it may be beneficial for our crime rate, it might be benefit on the short term, but on the longer term, it's part of a bigger agenda. And in the bigger agenda, we lose even more. So that's how I see it.
Okay. We got some comments. Wait. Gotta get here. Terrence says if Trump does that, that might be the straw to unite all the black people. What do you say about that, Pastor Jeff? Do you agree with Terrence?
Well, yeah. I you could clearly see his agenda, and I take that back. He probably not going to go for New York because right now he still have Adams in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? So he'll
True
probably get
that.
hit the other black mayors. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Okay. Well, what about the fact that he says it'll unite all the black people? Do you agree with that?
Well,
That's what Terrence's thought is.
hi- hi-
If Trump does that, it'll unite all the black people to come together.
history has proven, that adversity, you know, has brought us together. But we come together for a little while, and then we disperse again. You know, so yeah,
Okay.
it will bring us together once his agenda is
Mm,
really clear, and we see so many of us just getting carted off to jail by army troops. But will we stick together? Will we stay together?
okay. Good question. Brother Al, what do you think about Terrence's statement? Says it'll unite all the black people.
I'm like Pastor Jeff, and because I've seen it time and time again. It'll unite us for a little while, then we'll go back to it'll last for a little bit. I mean, look at Black Lives Matter. Everybody went down with it. We don't even hear about it anymore. When the riot happened in L.A. with Rodney Rodney King, and you had the Crips and the Blood came together as one. that lasted for a little while. So it'll come, it'll last for a little while, and then it's gonna go back. So you know.
Okay, okay. And Brother Ainsley, do you think that that it would draw and pull all the black people together?
Yeah, I agree with my brothers. It's gonna be short lived. And then to the next big issue or agenda. But this is really different as opposed to anything else we have ever seen. So you will hope and think that this will be a continued front, but history is going to repeat itself, unfortunately, I believe.
How do you feel it would unite us? What does uniting look like? I would love to know what that visual is to you guys. What does that look like, Ains?
To me, I mean, it's like it should be. I think if we had, well, it's happening, but we don't hardly see it. Because too many of our politicians really have an agenda themselves. They're really not really for us. Either they're scared to speak up, or they're bought and paid for, so they're not going to speak out against certain things. Too often they're taking APAC money. I hope everybody knows what that means. So they're not going to talk about certain things, and so we don't have how much true representation do we really have to unite everyone. So I think we have like something more. To me, I think what maybe like back in the day, the church was really the forefront of us. It wasn't the politicians and whatnot. It was galvanized all together. I think that could be the more united front, that unites us all and whatnot. Because there's no matter whether you're in LA, East Coast, West Coast, up in the North and the South and whatnot, there's something universal we're all going through and whatnot. And so if we move in the front in that way, not align with any particular political motivation and stuff like that, I think that could be the vehicle that moves us better forward.
Okay. Brother Al, what does us united look like? How would I know if we're uniting or not?
About by us marching, going out there marching, coming together with rallies and things like that, and showing that, hey, we're not gonna stand for this. So just coming together, like I said, marches, rallies, showing up to places where these politicians are having these meetings, showing up like, hey, listen, we're not going for that. You need to hear our voice.
Okay. And Terrence sent another very interesting comment in. I definitely want to talk about that one because the thought hit my head. Pastor Jeff, what does uniting look like for us?
We can't hear you, bro.
We coming together, protesting, bringing in our big wig attorneys, Al Sharpton, all of them, and just no division, Muslim, Christian, all of them, all the religions just show no disunity, That's what it looked like to me, even the gay community, black community, fighting for this. You understand? We leave all that other stuff behind, and we just all, as just black people, come together to stop this tyrant.
Okay.
No fighting amongst each other, because this is not religion we talking about and salvation we talking about.
Okay. Saving our people. Okay. Terrence says, I was also thinking that it would only last for a little while, but I think it will last longer because it's Trump. And now we see that it's time and what he means to white people. Okay. So when I read that, I said to myself, I'm going backwards. He says we would unite because it's Trump. It was Trump last November when we voted. It was Trump on the table last year when we voted. And black men, brown men thought that it was smart to vote him in. Now we gonna unite. We should have been united back then. Because this here is stupid. It was a stupid vote. We had him in office before. He had done nothing for us then. But yet, we united to put him in office. And now we're going to unite now.
That's because they didn't want no woman, man. They didn't want no woman.
But it also,
and you know what? But you know what? Also, Pastor Jeff, that was my thought when you were saying it's not religion, it's not this. And the first thing I said to myself, but I'm still fighting on the pulpit. We need to unite, and y'all can't even see me as a benefit because of my gender on the pulpit. How can we possibly unite when we still got this stupid thought in our head as to who should be there? We couldn't even get the woman in who may have done a better job, who all of them had their faults, but Lord knows we would not have been experiencing this nonsense here.
I voted for her.
It was the woman.
I voted for her, but I really didn't want her. And I hated that Trump was the alternative. You understand what I'm saying? You know.
Yes, I do.
And it was the kind of woman she was, and it was and her morals. But Trump has turned out to be the worst.
That's my point.
But I believe it really is God's will that Trump is in office because
I agree.
He's exposing everything, bringing everything that's always was to the forefront. They're not hiding no more. The racism, all of this, how America feels about us, all of that is all come to the forefront. And even us, we are uniting because we're awakening to who we really are, why we're being persecuted. You understand what I'm saying?
But is that uniting? Is that
no,
uniting?
I'm saying
because we're awakening?
We are becoming woke. We've been some of us have been asleep thinking racism does not exist, because they haven't been bothered and this, that, and the other. But it's coming to the forefront. I just got pulled over by a Nassau County white young police officer the other day, and he pulled me over because my taillights were out. My truck ain't no taillights out. So I said, sir, can I get out to see the taillights out? I get out and see my taillights on. And he said, you must have turned them on. And he pulled me and then ran me and then go, oh, you're squeaky clean. Like that was a shock that a black man, driving his G-Wagon could be squeaky clean and don't have a, worn out on him or something. I mean, they're coming out now. They don't care. He didn't care that he pulled me over for no reason. It didn't matter, Trump, he's exposing all of this. And I believe something good is going to come out of all of this.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you know what? But here's the thing. I mean, I think let's not be, though. Oh yeah. So Trump, he got more blacks to vote for him, more male. But there was the dominance of the black males did not vote for him. And here's the game. Here's the game on whatnot. You give us a little bit of a little light here. So I think supposedly he let some people out there. I think it was Meek Mill. You pardon this people, certain key black celebrities on whatnot. So everybody said, oh, he did that for say for Meek Mill. He did this for I'm just making up names. He did this for Lil Wayne. He did this for somebody. Oh, so he can't be racist if he lets Lil Wayne out of jail. He can't be racist if he lets so out. But they have a following, so people can say, "Oh, see, yeah, he let Lil Wayne out. He let this person out. By 4 or 5 of them, they'll say, okay." So a few of us gonna be like, "Okay, well, he can't be racist if he let them out." So that way you do that, you get more support because people not going to really see the bigger picture. It's the same thing as them going into Washington, Chicago, New York, and stuff like that. I'm gonna give y'all a little bone and whatnot, and then years later I can say, yeah, see, I helped y'all out a little bit. Yeah, but in the meantime, he really is really trying to wipe us out. You know what I'm saying? That's the
I
game.
agree.
So don't be fooled. Okay, yeah. So you have celebrities, Mike Tyson. I don't know whoever else. They gonna support him and stuff like that. Okay, but the majority of us know, realize, and recognize what the real deal is. So okay, so maybe and what when he first ran, he may have got maybe only 10%, but now he got 20%. The majority of us still recognize for who he is and what he's all about.
But unfortunately, Ainsley, although they were not the majority, which I agree with you, I wouldn't possibly think that the majority of the black and brown voted for him. It was still enough to put him in office. And this is why this united front, I don't know about. Because to me, it'll be the same thing now. It'll be like you said, it'll be a bone thrown out there where again the angel of light is out there, and now you sucked up again into believing, because again you had 2016 to refer to. This wasn't somebody we didn't know. So then he promised some money. He promised some this, he promised some that. Like you said, he let some people out. So now the angel of light is standing before you, believing, having you believe that he's this. And now he pulls the wool from underneath your feet. He will always be able to deceive.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't believe that this united front is going to make a difference. I don't think personally we're going to unite. I don't think we're going to ever be able to unite at the level where it will make a difference. Brother Al,
yes,
I ask you the question as we kind of wind down here. So now we unite. What does that look like? You've answered. And now with Terrence saying, wait, let me get this here. Did I miss Terrence? Oh, when he says we might only go for a little while, but I think it will last long because it's Trump. And my thing was, it was Trump back in November. It ain't make no difference. What's your thought on Terrence's comment?
I agree with you. It didn't make a difference back then. It ain't like he was new running and you didn't know. We know from the jump what he is, what he do. He showed us that the 4 years he was in back then. So again, it's just like what Pastor Jeff said, so many people and they sick mind. And I've ran across people that's like, oh no, I'm not voting for no woman. I vote for a woman when the other countries gonna think we weak. And I'm looking at them like, so you prefer this idiot over, over that, and I think this time our Democrat Party is so weak. I've listened to them speak and stuff, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? And so it's been crazy, and I think what happened with the Democrats on that part, with Harris, she didn't touch on the public's needs, and Trump capitalized on that. When you came in and you said, I ran across so many people that was tired of the immigrants, coming in and getting all the money, and you can't get money. Like one of my friends, she always worked, always had a strong work background. She fell short a little bit and she needed some help. She went down to public assistance. Hey, listen, I don't even want no money. Just if you can supply me food stamps. I lost hours on my job. They cut back, and she made $2 over, and they told her no. But then you had the immigrants come in with no ID, no nothing, and you gave them everything. Adam, right? Adam gave them a stifling every month. So people was hurting behind her like, wow, I've been here all my life. I've done this, and you give me nothing. These people ain't even got IDs, and you giving them things. So they didn't touch on stuff like that. And so many people was hurting behind that. Also with the agenda, with the sports. Trump straight up said, listen, ain't no, if you used to be a man and you were a woman, you are not participating. Where the Democrats was like, well, they had it and they're now a woman, So he capitalized on things that people had big concerns about. Right. You're right. And they didn't, and that was the problem. But no, I agree with you totally. I don't see the uniting because you had your opportunity like he said in November. You know what he did a couple of years ago, 4 years ago. You know what he did, and you didn't stick together to keep him out. Nah, no sir. I agree with you totally on
Right.
that.
Because even, and I agree with you 100%, brother Al. He definitely touched on things that we were very sensitive to, and the
Mhm.
Democrats were very liberal on. I agree with you 100%. However, again, when you put it on the scale, there was so much more room to do damage than to do, to aid us. And I think that's what we didn't look at. I think we
Right.
looked at the twos and the fews opposed to the majority of it. And that's where, because that's what, like you said, that's what black men talked about. Oh, they'll get rid of the immigrants and all of this and all of that or whatever. Listen, all the immigrants gone, the jobs are still out there. So what y'all doing? I'm lost here. How we got all this employment opportunity, but yet y'all ain't employed. So what did you care about the immigrants taking your benefits? Because what you didn't want is different between like your girlfriend and the average other person out here who doesn't want to work, who's not going to do anything but take benefits. Yeah, you don't want them taking the benefits because you want to get the benefits opposed to getting out here and working. So this, like you said, it's a huge dynamic. However, we needed to be much smarter in, like Pastor Jeff said, our options were not great. But can I be honest? In these past few presidential races, the options have not been that great.
Nope.
It really, it hasn't been like this. Like, oh yeah, that one is who I'm. It was always they had so much out there that made you, leery or like, no, I don't know if I'm with that one. Yeah, and it was like, well, then who do I vote for? So it's really a difficult thing to stand at the poll because a lot of people aren't even voting anymore. We have lost a lot of voters because the pickings are so slim, and when they get in office they lie. They do all these things and before as they're running, and then when they get in office all that goes up in smoke. So we again, how do we unite when we're up against these things? You guys have been great. Thank you so much for taking us into a thought-provoking weekend. I know I can always throw these kind of social issues your way, and you will give us something to think about. Thank you so much, and we pray you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and an extended weekend. Thank you so much.
All right, you too.
No show on Monday. No show on Monday, just so you'll know. Not that you were going to be on, but no show on Monday. It's Labor Day.
Oh,
all right, cool. And I'm running for president in 4 years. I'm running for president. Y'all vote for me.
I want to be vice president. All right.
Got you.
VP to the
y'all might as well. Y'all might as well. We couldn't do nothing worse. Might as well. Y'all probably do something.
And I put Pastor Jeff as Secretary of State.
Oh, look at you, Pastor Jeff. You got an immediate increase. Wow.
Well, listen,
all right.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. And I just might vote for you, brother Al. All right. Enjoy your weekend.
I'll take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We got some comments before we check up out of here. Oh, we're going back. Tina Turner kept her name after divorcing Ike. Yeah, she said, I worked hard for that name. I ain't letting it go. I don't care nothing about no divorce. I divorced him, not the name. All righty. Shanti says Vanity wouldn't even take royalties from those songs after she was saved. Absolutely. So we don't know where Apollonia is, that even though Paisley Park offered her to perform, where she is in her life, we don't know. That would make her say no thank you. Terrence says, what we heard what Terrence said back then, we missed those things. Serge says, Shanti says, there is still no unity because the minority men who voted for Trump still stand by their decision. Absolutely. I have not heard someone who voted for Trump, black, say, I made a mistake. Now, whether it's pride or the fact that they just standing by their decision, I don't know. But yeah, that's very true. Serge says, I don't see us uniting because this generation doesn't know how to unite. Woo! Interesting statement, Serge. All right. We have the next comment. Shati says Nelly. Yes, Nelly was one who voted for Trump and who they used to kind of draw people under Nelly's umbrella. Terrence says, all I'm going to say is he's very smart. When he first became the president, he got all the white people out of those backyard countries out of nowhere. Look at his second term. He got all blacks out. Absolutely. There's always a strategy to the enemy. All right. And coming down on our comments. Was that it? Nope. Okay. Terrence says now everybody's going to unite because of him. He got the whites. Oh, didn't we say that already? Oh, no. And the first term, the blacks out. The second term, and he's telling everybody's business. That's going to make us not go after him. All righty. And Shanti says Nelly supported Trump to perform at the inauguration. Woo! Boy, we got a whole lot of stuff that we need to pay attention to. So here we are at the helm. He hasn't even completed a year. And look at all that he's done and can potentially do. We're in trouble. And the only way we get out of trouble is to throw ourselves at the mercy feet of God. So make sure you focus on a life change for you, because you can actually come out of this without being that affected. You know, we all have nieces, nephews, children, grandchildren who are going to have to deal with a lot of the effects of what's going on, these decisions that are being made. You know, it would be wonderful to be united. However, again, it's been questioned, how long will it last? And two, what does it even look like? Serge says we can't unite because we don't know how to. Can I tell you, I agree, because there are so many agendas out there. In order for you to unite, the Bible says clearly, how can two walk together if they don't agree? How much do we really agree on? We couldn't agree on whether this man was a liar last year when he was running, when the black man and the Hispanic man, there were a lot of Hispanic men who voted for him. How many of them are still on United States soil today? How many of their family members are still on America's soil today? How could you have possibly allowed the wool to be pulled over your eyes and believe that this man meant you any good when from the beginning he said, that's going to be number one on my agenda, and so said, so done? What kind of wool do you have over your eyes that would make you believe that we would not pay when we put him back in office? So said, so done. And now we're trying to figure out, how do we unite? I'm with Pastor Jeff. I think this is the soul of our time. We asked and God says, okay. We told God no. He said, all right. You don't want me involved? I'll leave you for your choosing. And this is what we got. Because we voted him in. I don't care how many, how few, we voted him in. And it was enough, like I said, to push him over the line to be the winner. And we need to be very concerned about that. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what I would feel like as a woman with a daughter married to a man who would vote for Trump, when he was saying no abortions, regardless of what. So for the women who went out there and got who were raped and now they ended up with children. Listen, I'm pro-choice. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your body. I know what the Bible says. However, I'm not in your shoes. And I would hate to know that something like that happened and I wanted to abort. And now I can't. I have no choice. We just got finished talking late yesterday about the life that they held up, put on life support, so they could make that decision. You have men making decision over a woman's life. You have man in general making decisions over your life, and you won't give your life to the Lord. Do you realize what's happening now? We won't give our lives to God. So God says, I'm going to give you to man. And I remember specifically the story of David when he got in trouble with God, when he sinned, and he had 3 options. God gave him 3 choices. I'm going to get you. You can pick your punishment. And one of the things he said was, you know what? I'm going with God. I'm going to let him punish me because at least there's mercy when I deal with God. There's grace when I deal with God. Those weren't his exact words, but that's what his thing was. He says, I don't want to be left to man, because if I'm left to man, I can't handle that. But he knew God. He knew that God would definitely handle him much differently. So God says, you know what? You don't want me. You don't want the mercy and grace that comes with me. You want this. And look at all the over 100,000 deportations. How many were voters? How many wanted their voice to reign? And now they regret it. Now you voted this man in. You ain't even here to see what he promised he would do, because he promised to put you up out of here. And he did just that. So, again, when we're making decisions, that's a big thing. And I said to you the other day, let God handle your business. And that's how I'm going to close today. We are seeing the effect. Look at all the stories we talked about today. The effect of us making our own decisions. We make such poor decisions when we opt out of allowing God to take the wheel. Now, what are we left to? So I go back to Tuesday's closing. If you missed Tuesday's closing, I advise you to go back and listen, because God had a word for every single one of us. And here, these stories alone proved what he was talking about. Because the words that came out of my mouth were God's words, had nothing to do with Stephanie. And we want to make sure that we're on the good side of the fence, not on the wrong side of the fence. We don't want to go down. We don't want to go down like that. But if you think you can handle it, if you want Trump to be the ruler over your life instead of Jesus, God, then what else can I say? I pray that you make the best decision. All right? You've been watching It's Due Time with Pastor Steph. Join us Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. where we discuss matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. As you go through your day, be sure to set your mind on things that are above, not on things that are on the earth. They will only serve as a distraction. Remember, prayer changes things. It's Pastor Steph signing off, and I want to thank my Due Time crew, the men, for always coming through big time and sending us into a thought-provoking weekend. Thank you for hanging out with us and helping to keep that chat room alive. Please do not miss this opportunity to just accept Christ as your personal Savior. Please do not miss this opportunity to strengthen that relationship with the Lord, because later is not promised to us. As of Monday, God spares, as of this weekend, there will be no Word Prayer Project, because people are going to be barbecuing and traveling and doing all kinds of stuff. As for Wednesday, we're going to let the Due Time crew sleep 5 minutes later as they enjoy their holiday as well. So until Tuesday, God spares, I love you.